Hey, welcome back, my amazing students. I'm so happy that you guys are here. Seriously, thank you. All right, so now that you're giving yourself the opportunity to learn more and you're giving me the opportunity to show you, I want to actually finish this by showing you a couple different ways that we can actually do this. Now, we have created this really awesome, really amazing custom hook here with the Contents API, all right? And it's very clear on what we're doing so far, right? We are separating concerns. Our authentications are being separated into one file to be accessed globally through our whole application. What it's not clear is how we're gonna do it, right? So that's what I'm about to show you now. But before we do that, let me modify this here real quick, just a little bit, so that way it can work a little better. The use effect here, what I want this to do is to clear storage on logout. So let's go ahead and make sure that we are detecting the auth user here. And if we find an authenticated user, then we're going to be setting the auth user in local storage, right? And then else, let's do this on else. What I want to do is I want to access local storage and I want to remove the auth user. So that way it clears the storage there, all right? On logout. This is just happening on logout. Another thing that I want to actually fix here, because we're going to use this later, is that by the way that we are designing our system here, we're not going to be accessing the auth user role here. We're going to be accessing whatever comes in from here. So let's go ahead and clean that up a little bit there. Perfect. All right. So let's go back in here and let's take a look on how we're going to do this. Actually, let's go back into the app.js. That's the file that we are going to be working on, not the main. All right, the main, we're done with the main JSX file. So we got a couple ways of actually applying this. The first way is actually implementing this hook in every file that we need to. Every file where it's needed, we can go ahead and inject it, or not, not inject it, but import it and use it in everywhere we need it. That's not very good, all right? Now, another way of doing this would be to make it available through our whole application would be to import it right here, right? So we could import it in apps and make it available just like we have so far here. Let me show you. So let me just start doing this so that way you can see how we can do it. So let me just take the import of use state and use effect because we don't need it anymore. And let's go ahead and import the use auth, the custom file that we created, okay? And now that we have it available, we don't need this guy here. We don't need effect here, okay? All we need is to pull out the authenticated user from that custom file, okay? So let's go ahead and pull him out and say use auth user. Actually, is not use auth user, is actually auth user. And let's pull him out from the use auth. There we go, just like that. This is where it's gonna come from. And we can pull out the logout as well, all right? Or the login as well if we need to, right? Super simple. And now what we can do here, we can pass, we don't need to set the user. We're already doing that inside. So we can remove that from the sidebar. We can remove that from the nav bar. And we can remove that from app routes. All right, we can remove all that stuff. Now we can pass down to the sidebar the auth user that we're pulling out from here. We can inject it in the nav bar and we can inject it here as well. As a matter of fact, in the sidebar too, we have a logout. So we can inject the logout right here. All right. Just like that. So I'm going to show you this way, and we're going to make it work this way, and then I'm going to show you a better way, a better approach, okay? Now, once we have that, if you go into the sidebar, right, we're not getting that here anymore. We don't need it, right? What are we getting here? Nothing. I'm just joking with you. Of course, we're not going to need this guy here, but we need the auth user. All right, and we need the logout, just like that, okay? Now we don't need this handle logout. We could go ahead and go all the way down and now use the one that we want, which is this guy here. Okay? Super simple. There's one thing here. Let me see. The button here, we don't need to have this to attribute there or property. It doesn't need it. Okay? So we are using the logout here and in the sidebar, just in case if you need the auth user, it will be used there, right? All right, that's the sidebar. Actually, in the sidebar, we don't even need the auth user. We need this in the nav bar. So let's go back in here. This is where we need it. And we need the logout here as well in the nav bar. So let's make sure that we are just taking those in. And look, we're still using navigate here. You know, we don't have to since we can use our own custom navigation. All right. But anyway, as a matter of fact, I don't even think we're using that here anyway. Right? Navigate, that is not being used anywhere. And let's just take this out as well. And now inside the nav bar, make sure that, let me see the logout. This is taking advantage of that new logout that we got on top. Actually, still not there. Right here, let me make sure. There we go. All right. Perfect. So those two should change. And that's it. That's all we got to do there. Let me see. The nav bar actually is taking advantage of, let me see. We have logout in the nav bar and the sidebar. Okay. Auth user there. So yeah, we're passing the auth user and the logout in the nav bar. So we're doing the same thing here as well. So let's just pass that in. Okay. All right. So it looks like it's working here. Let's log out. Let's log in here. Oh, let me just see here what's going on. I think login, the login needs one too as well. Yeah. Let's go back into the login JS sets. And here we need the login functionalities as well. All right. So yeah, this is actually using the, so let's go back into here. Our routes is passing in the auth user. And what I want to do here is I want to pass in the login. All right. So in the next lecture, I'll show you the next way, which I think is going to be better than this. In my opinion, is actually better. And that is with using higher order components. And you'll see how awesome that's going to be. All right. So we got the auth user and we're going to have the login in here. Super simple. So we're not going to use this guy here no more. That is just going to be fixed just like that. Now let's go all the way back down and take care of this guy here. And now that's going to be replaced with a new login that's coming in. All right. So let's go back in here and see what the next error is going to be. Login is not defined. Login is being passed down into the app routes. Okay, let me just go back into the app routes. And you can see here that, yeah, let's make sure that that is being taken here. All right, as login and being passed down here. All right. All right, go back in there. It says it's not defined, login. Let me just make sure. Oh, we got to get it out of here. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. That works now, right? Beautiful. All right, so on the next lecture, I'm gonna show you how to make this even better, guys. But we're getting better here. All right, we are learning a bunch of really cool things that are gonna make your applications a lot more flexible and a lot better. And it's making you a better developer every single day that you're learning more and more about this. Trust me, follow me. This is gonna change your life. All right, let's get to the next lecture, guys.